Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Yankees Farm Report. It's been a minute for a non-special edition. Schedules, summer, kids, you know how that goes. So just a quick rundown of the topics we're going to talk about today. We have players of the week. We're going to talk about the draft and the UDFA first impressions, trades, Peña and Peña, a little bit of Juan Torres, and we're going to talk about George Lombard and the first impressions. So getting right into the players of the week, we'll move down to the DR. Yeah, Juan Torres, who had a nasty week. He hit 714 last week with a 776 on base percentage. His OPS was 2,064, six extra base hits, three home runs, 16 RBIs, three walks. I'm sorry, four walks, three steals. Bori Ojeda hit 545 with a 1552 OPS, three extra base hits. I don't keep saying Steven Marinez hit 364 with a 924 OPS, two extra base hits, four RBIs, two walks, four steals. Juan Martinez hit 333, 809 OPS, three extra base hits, six RBIs. And the newest IFA for the Yankees, Luis Cruz, who they just got back in the trade, hit 286, 920 OPS, two extra base hits, four RBIs, six walks. Let me just move on to the pitching side of things. You had Joe Snaker Colina. He went seven shutout innings, three hits allowed, one walk, seven strikeouts. Probably, in my opinion, the best pitcher on that team right now. I know Freddie Panuelas has been getting some buzz lately, especially from Marcus's buddy on Twitter. Um, he who I do not name, and don't tag me on his post because I'm not going to respond to any of his posts. Hector Moreno went four and a third innings, four walks, eight strikeouts. He's been pitching a lot better of late. Pretty much the entire season he began hit really hard over the last 2 weeks or so. I would say he's pitching a lot better. And Freddie Panuelas, who I just mentioned before, pitched four and a third shutout innings, two walks, eight strikeouts.
I brought up a name with you, Carlos, David
Mm,
Carrera, just because we haven't talked about him at all.
yeah.
And I was
hmm
looking at the WRC plus leaders in the organization. He's first.
hmm
I
And
think
I
he's
know he's
first in all of DSL.
yeah, and
Yeah.
he's 19, and I know people tend to look away when is he in his third year in DSL?
Yeah, I told you
Yeah.
he's in his third year in the DSL, and that's probably
Which usually is a
why he's
reason for
not.
people to not pay attention to you, but
Yeah.
should we be paying a little more attention to him? Or he's
I
19.
mean,
That's
I keep preaching
not
that,
27.
you know, prospect progress is not linear.
Right.
Who knows? Who knows how legit it is? But he's putting up numbers.
Yeah.
For me, you got to respect that.
So
I
yeah,
think
so that
it's definitely a situation where like I'm not ranking this guy close to my top 30. Like he's not again that
Yeah.
yet, but it's definitely, I want to see what this guy does. Like I'm gonna
hmm
like look for his name in FCL. I'm gonna be like, okay, I saw what he did last year. Let's see what he's got for us now. It's definitely worth keeping an eye on now. He's definitely made a name for himself that let's at least just see what there is when they make the new stateside. Is it just taking advantage of being older and his third time around against younger guys, or is this did he click with him?
and not to be a jerk, he's not 5'7". He's 6'3", I think. And so you probably have a pretty good athlete there. And if a guy comes into his own physically, let's just keep our eyes on him and
Mhm.
see what happens there. Now, you brought up Juan Torres. I don't know if you wanted to wait and talk about him separately or if we should do it now.
I mean, if you want to see, let's just get right into it right now since we're already here.
I mean, again, people say, "Oh, second year in DSL and in DS, don't get overworked about DSL numbers." But the week he just had would be good playing wiffle ball. I mean, those are his numbers
But
are ridiculous.
and
My
even
favorite
if, yeah,
my favorite thing is, Baseball America does their hot sheet every week, their 20 top prospects in minor leagues. And in it, they mentioned we typically don't rank DSL guys unless they have a crazy week because the run environment and the offensive environment is just so crazy down there. But they said Juan Torres beat the exception because hitting 770 in a week is just absurd. And
hmm
he's, I actually was writing an article today that I'll probably post tomorrow or Friday, but I talk about him in it some. And, yes, Marcus, you're right. It is a second year DSL guy. Yes, he is, close to 19. Um, that doesn't mean Richard Matique was the same situation. Had a rough first DSL season, had a great second DSL season, had a solid FCL season. And he's a guy that's right around that top 30. Um, and so just because Torres did have a repeat year, he had a really good year his first year and had a great year this year.
I
So
was
he's
going to make that
definitely a
point.
guy, yeah, he's definitely a guy who deserves to be in those conversations. If you didn't read my top 30 prospect list that I posted on the Yankees Farm Report website, he's not in it. He's close though, and from having not really considered him more than a guy I thought was a little cool in the DSL to now a guy I'm definitely considering for it. I just want a little bit more. Like it's been good for him.
And he had really good numbers last year. So
Yeah.
it's not like he but this is you would you agree this is sort of standard operating procedure is for their young guys to repeat the DSL and do 2 years. It's atypical of them to move guys out after 1 year, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would say that for the last couple of years, that's been the case.
Right.
I mean, I
So
can't, obviously there's someone we'll get to, but I can't
Mhm.
really think of many that have, yeah, was Arias one and done down there, maybe?
He was, he
he
was.
was.
He
Yeah,
wasn't. He
Arias
didn't.
was,
He didn't have a good season though. And remember, he missed about
yeah,
half of the season because he had a wrist
mhm.
injury right before the season
That's right,
started.
yeah.
So it
So,
seems to be special occasions when they're moving guys out after 1 year, but most guys they've repeated them, especially 16, 17-year olds.
Yes. And for those
yeah,
that don't know, Juan Torres is hitting 378 on the season with a 462 on base percentage, 1106 OPS, 32 extra base hits, 8 home runs, 23 stolen bases, 61 RBIs. He's got a walk rate just under 11%, a strikeout rate of 7%.
I'm willing
And
to
la-
believe those numbers, and the swings that I've gotten to see him take. I'm willing to believe. I mean, obviously, we need to see more. He's a very young guy,
mhm.
but I, I
and
cannot
and
quibble
I
with
just want to say
anything
real
he's
quick.
done.
I just want to say real quick for the people who say, "Well, he's repeating," but taking into consideration, he pretty much led the entire organization in hitting last year. I think he hit about 359. I want to say stands at bats and qualifications, whatever. And I think he was just blocked because of the logjam that they had at the FCL and who they wanted to take a look at down there. I don't think because he definitely deserved it. He definitely had deserved the promotion.
Do you think jumping Dexter's Peralta a little bit, as it turns out, maybe a little bit early, was a contributor for him staying in DSL?
That's what I think. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe they paid Dexter 150K as his signing bonus compared to Juan Torres was a 50K.
Yeah.
Pretty much, pretty low signing.
And they're different looking athletes, but
Mhm.
I just think Torres is gonna be one of those guys where maybe you don't drool over the physicality, but he just keeps producing, and then you have to stop arguing with it at some point.
I mean, he
Yeah, I think.
definitely seems like a guy who makes a lot of contact
Yep.
and likes to swing a lot. So I think the big things that you have to follow with those guys is first of all, how hard is he hitting the ball? We don't have exit velocity readings. Obviously, the Yankees and other people who are more tapped in have maybe some info on that that we just aren't privy to. But then it's just how much can you avoid the bad chases and making bad contact? Because that also plays some into the exit velocity game. If your average exit velocity, you're gonna have a low exit velocity because if you're swinging at pitches, three balls out of the strike zone and making contact with them, well, that doesn't matter. So it's definitely a really cool profile. We don't have many guys who are like high hit, high contact, high swing guys. So it's definitely a profile I think is a good mix in this system. But yeah, like I said, he's a guy who's in my top 40 now. Once we get some FCL time with him, it could push him up further, and maybe he'll make it to Tampa next year for all we know. But it's been a very encouraging year for I mean, for him specifically, but overall in the DSL, we've talked about a lot of these guys
Yep.
that have had good years, and he's just another example.
And I think you mentioned the magic trait. It's with a few guys here who are really interesting, and someone who we're going to talk about here in a few minutes. It's not so much the strikeouts, it's the swing decisions and it's the chase. And that's maybe the magic trait for some of these guys that's going to make the difference.
Like with Luis Garcia on the Yankees right now, he's always been a high swing, high chase, high contact guy, but there was no power with him. And partly it's because the Nationals' old coaching staff were not good. But this year they got him pulling the ball in the air and getting better exit velocities, and all of a sudden now he's a huge hitting threat. And yes, he chases, but he makes a lot of contact with it. And now that he's had the thump, he went from a guy who was a below average hitter to a guy who's, what's like a 130 WRC plus, and he's murdering righties. Yeah, so I do think how he's hitting the ball, is he hitting it in the air? Is he hitting it on the ground? And he improved his fly ball rate a lot this year. Will it carry over to FCL? That can be a little tricky, but it's
Yeah.
definitely good to see that he's at least taken that step with his swing plane.
Right.
I was gonna say real quick, I know I think a couple of his home runs that did post, he had exit velos of 101, 105.
It's a good start. He's not a big guy. He's like 5'9", right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's 5'10", I want to say.
Hmm.
Which for
Prototypical two
where he
beast,
plays,
or I was gonna say prototypical second base size.
yeah. Now, can you go back to, and sorry if I'm saying the name wrong, Pauly Ojeda?
Yeah,
Just, I don't know enough about him. What, you got something on him that
I
can help us
don't.
get to
I
know him a
mean,
little bit better?
well, Julio Ojeda and Juan Martinez were part of the this year's IFA class. I mentioned Juan Martinez. There's one other guy I can't remember right now. Cesar Lopez.
Hmm.
Three catchers have been having very solid seasons down in the
Right.
DSL, along with Alessandro Rodriguez, who was named
Yep.
to the All Star team. I did try to get a little bit more background to say, I tried to ask the Yankees specific, like how would you rate these guys in terms of overall? I mean, I didn't get much feedback. They pointed me in another direction, so they didn't completely shut me out, but they pointed me in another direction. Say, hey, you know what? You should talk to this person about it. So, I mean, I'm still waiting to do that. But as of right now, I probably would say that I'd like Boldy the most, and then Juan Martinez is just one of those guys that just makes contact all day long, all week.
Yeah, like you said, that group has been producing
Hmm.
all season, and which is nice because obviously the organization trying to rebuild catching depth, and I
Hmm.
feel like their catchers have had really solid years up and down the system, including in the DSL. And these are
Hmm.
You
maybe
know,
some names we're going to need to know a little bit better here in the short term.
what's funny about these guys is that they were all low signing bonus guys. Like all these
Yeah.
catchers, and their big signing bonus guy was Kenneth Melendez. And in terms of these 5, 6 guys, he's probably having the worst season out of all of them.
It's very much a crapshoot down there,
Yeah.
and that's part of the reason they're trying to get better is because they've had success with the small guys, but it's the big guys who really have the chance to make the biggest impact, and that's where they need to get better. But we've talked about that plenty.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the JV squad, which is what I refer to them as, which is the Bombers. You had Harmony Beltre hit 400 with a 1100 OPS, 2 extra base hits, 4 steals. Alessandro Rodriguez, who I just mentioned, DSL All Star, he hit 353 with an 888 OPS, an extra base hit, 3 RBIs. Ruben Castillo, who has been hot since coming off of the IL, hit 294 with 1108 OPS, 3 extra base hits, a home run, 6 walks, 2 steals. And Edgar Jimenez hit 273 with 2 RBIs, 2 walks, and a steal. On the pitching side of things, you had Junior Tavera, 4 2/3 shutout innings, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. Cesar Acosta, who has gotten some buzz this season, pitched 4 innings, 2 runs allowed, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. And Jose Sanchez pitched 3 2/3 innings, 1 run allowed. Sorry, 1 unearned run, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts.
Now, I see Ruben Castillo got hit with a pitch yesterday and taken out of the game.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see it. I heard about.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he had an at bat, he had a hit by pitch, and then he was out. I didn't see today's Wednesday. Do they not play on Wednesday?
No, they don't play on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
No.
So I'm hoping that was just a 1 day thing because he really had once he got his feet under him and when he
Mhm.
came off the IL and started playing. I know that's a guy that you and I both liked when they signed him.
Yeah, he was
Uh,
playing pretty much what the expectation was for him last season.
right, right, and that was a guy I was starting to get excited about and um, kind of hoping that he's in the mix for center field next year in the FCL. So I'd like to see him finish the season healthy if possible.
Agreed. Let's move on to Tampa. At Tampa, you had Luis Puello hit 500 with a 1588 OPS, 3 extra base hits, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs. Um, Anthony Potestio hit 444, 1393 OPS, a home run, 4 RBIs. Diego Castellanos hit 364 with an 826 OPS, an RBI, 2 walks. Brandon Maya hit 364, 872 OPS, an extra base hit, 3 RBIs. Yostin Peña hit 333, 961 OPS, a home run, 5 RBIs. And Blake Sear hit 286, 922, sorry, 929 OPS, an extra base hits, 2 walks, and a steal.
Maybe,
Let me ask you guys. Go ahead.
oh, you go.
I was gonna say, what do you think about? What do you think about Luis Puello?
I was just gonna say that. Are we talking enough about him?
I like him. I think he's one of those guys that should be in the discussion for top 30.
What?
That I'm not 100% sure in the 30, but in the discussion.
So if I was gonna ask you who he was and you're gonna give me his defensive position, he is a
Will carry
Ball
bat.
player.
He will carry bat.
Okay. So not a catcher first.
Well, I mean, the Yankees make those bat first catchers anyways.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. If he's a hybrid player, that's fine.
And he plays a pretty decent left field,
Sure.
from
And
what I've seen.
they just drafted a guy who might be one of those guys in Brock.
To be fair, Brock is, he's more of like a Dalton Varsho situation where it's just a special athlete.
Yeah.
You
No,
know,
I'm not
I
comparing
don't
him as
know. I don't.
athletes, but
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't know that guy. Was he like a Craig Biggio?
He's
but is Puello a guy who when I watch him I wonder like is this just a guy who swings hard and then therefore hits the ball hard when he makes
well, his
contact, or is
his
this a legitimate bat?
He's not hitting 220.
He what?
He's not hitting 220.
No, I know. He's been productive and he's hitting the ball out of the ballpark. He's
listen,
interesting.
there are clear whiff concerns. There are clear swing decision concerns. He does have some good power with, especially, he's like a 5'9" guy. So like that is it's fun. I think there's a lot that needs to come around that could get exposed as he climbs the ladder. But it's definitely a fun story to follow, and his at bats are very fun. Like it's if you watched him, he's a bit of a dynamite.
Yeah, he's a really funny cat. He's a really funny
Yeah.
dude.
So he's a guy you'd think he's just going to be able to stay in the lineup someplace. And maybe, I mean, we've seen it this year. Guys
I
who
mean, I was gonna say
get themselves in the
pre-draft.
lineup and they're hitting lower in the order, and we say, okay, maybe the organization's not that high on it. And then next thing you know, up they go and up they move in the lineup, and all of a sudden they're looked at a little bit differently. So as long as he keeps his name in the lineup, he's giving himself a chance.
I think pre-draft they were pretty much finding a place where to plug him in the lineup. It usually was between 3 and 6.
Yeah, Tampa's got a lot of guys
So
to play now.
there's a lot of guys,
Yeah.
going in and out of the lineup every night.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe if you want to do the pitchers, and then we can kind of talk about the draft
Yeah.
guys, because I know that was something we wanted to touch on. Since most
All
of them are
right.
in Tampa, so
All right. Yeah, this guy itching and ready to go. All right, let's go. Justin West had a really good week. He picked six shutout innings, one hitter, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. Wyatt Parliament, 5 innings of work, 3 hits allowed, 1 run, no walks, 3 strikeouts. Edinson Marquez pitched 4 in the third inning, 1 run allowed, 3 walks, a strikeout. Recent call-ups: Anthony Mena pitched 3 in the third shutout innings, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Rafael Arias pitched 2 in the third innings, 1 hit allowed, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. And Jose Martinez was pretty much having a very solid season, 2 innings of shutout work, no walks, 4 strikeouts. All right, if you guys got nothing, then let's
yeah. Oh
go.
no, I have nothing on the pitchers.
All right. All right. So we're just gonna skip over. Or we're gonna table the rest of the players of the week. We're just gonna talk about first impressions of draft UDFA. And can I go first?
Yeah.
Yes.
To me, of all the players that have debuted, I think I'm most excited about Micah New. I don't know. I don't know
Oh,
if I'm
we're
pronouncing
going
the last
We're going
name.
Hudson Valley. Okay.
Yeah, we're going.
I mean, sure. Might as well talk about it. Well, yeah, you'll touch on him briefly, I'm guessing soon, but yeah, let's go with him.
Yeah, I mean, in his debut, a week of work, he's hit 375. I know it's very early. I think it's like 4 or 5 games for him. He's hitting 375, 12, 13 OPS, 3 extra base hits, 2 home runs, 8 RBIs, and he hit a tank yesterday, a game-winning tank last night.
Yeah.
And he's made a very he's made a few really good defensive plays out in center field. I
It's
think
you
he might have
watch him
even robbed the
play,
home
and
run.
like if you told me, oh, there's their fourth round draft pick, and I'm like, okay.
Mhm.
And to think that he goes undrafted for 20 rounds, that's interesting.
I definitely find it, part of it is maybe they put him Hudson Valley just because, with their UDFA guys. I don't want to say they don't
Mhm.
care about them because we've seen a lot of
No.
these guys become something. But it
Yeah.
is interesting that they, I feel like they put him there because he needed to
Hmm.
probably fill a need there, and they kept all the guys they drafted in
Hmm.
Tampa. But this is a guy who should have got drafted. Like if he was drafted in the 16th round, I would have said this is our this year's Dylan Lewis or Jackson Lovich, like a guy who's a big bat who just needs to, hone his profile at the plate, but he can hit it hard, and that's what he does. He obliterates the baseball. Right now we got obviously way too small sample, but he's making good amount of contact, even though he's swinging at everything. But he's electric to watch. He's dynamite in center field. He can get carry himself quite a ways just on his defense and his power. He can definitely be in AAA with that. Will he be a big leaguer? Too early to tell. But he's fun. He's very
Yeah,
fun.
he's exciting to watch.
Yeah, and you just said it. Like you watch him swing, he swings a lot. Um, and yeah, he needs some refinement, but they all do, and that's
Hmm.
fine. He's a week into his pro career, but you used the word that I was going to use. He's got electricity, and we'll take that. And an
Hmm.
undrafted free agent, that's really good.
And I definitely agree with you there. I do think they took the UFAs and they said basically sink or swim, we need bodies up here. And yeah, he's rising to the occasion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Again, it's
absolutely.
very early, but it's exciting what he's done so far in the small body of work.
I can't remember if he was a senior or if he was like I'm pretty sure he was a senior. So he's a little older, like a year actually year older.
Mhm.
He's a senior. He's 20. He's 22 7 months. So he's older than guys like Potestio or Castellanos that they drafted. Um, but still, like Garrett Martin is a guy who it has really risen this year. He started at Hudson Valley straight away,
Mhm.
so it's he can definitely keep raising his stock value.
Who else you got?
I mean, there's a few guys I've really liked in the small sample we've seen. I'm going to touch on Diego Castellanos right now, though.
Hmm.
Just what he's just a pest. This guy in his very brief, I think we should really emphasize that for all of them. This is very small samples, but he
And by the way,
is
he was
living
a
up to,
before you get into it, he was a 14th round pick, just so people
yeah,
know.
14th rounder out of St. Mary's. He's just his profile was just coming out of the draft was, he's going to be a very pesky at bat. And right now he is whiffing 13% of the time, which is 97th percentile. He's chasing 11.8% of the time, which is 98th percentile. He's making contact with everything. He's not chasing, he's walking a decent bit. He's not striking out at all. He's not hitting the ball hard. He's yet to get a ball pulled in the air, but it's they can work on that swing path over the offseason, but it's just fun seeing a guy who's just it's very Brendan Jones coded.
Mhm.
So he was definitely a guy he has a weird hitch in his swing. He kind of brings the bat like behind his back almost when he's setting up to swing, but he's making it work. And then also just quickly, Bear Harrison's a guy I liked. He hasn't really shown the pop yet. His exit velocities haven't been great, but I do really like that he's kept his good swing decisions. 'Cause not only is he not chasing, but he's swinging in the zone a reasonable amount early on, and he's making contact early on, which was definitely a concern for him. Because strangely enough, in college, he had like a really low zone contact rate, but a high out of zone or relatively high out of zone contact rate. So that had me thinking, maybe there is more to this hit tool there. It's just he needs some coaching because if he's hitting these making contact the ball out of the zone, why can't he make contact in the zone? So I like what we've seen early on, even if the power hasn't been on full display yet. And he can catch too. Like he has still hands.
I
So he's living up to his profile, the pesky hitter.
Yeah,
I think he's
exactly.
going to
Well,
be a
yeah,
better pro than he was a college player. And I know that's not
fair.
a really
I
brilliant thing to
agree.
say, but I think he's an upward trajectory guy.
I agree. Bear Harrison's definitely no, I like for sure. How about you, Marcus? Anyone stick out for you that we haven't already covered?
I wrote four names down, and Diego was one of them.
I've been paying attention to more of the guys that moved up and came back than the ones that have started up with the draft. It's almost kind of hard to keep track of Tampa's lineup at this point. Like, how
You know
big
It's
what's
is
fair.
their,
funny?
sometimes I'm
You
like,
know
how big
what?
is their roster
You know what's
for that?
funny is that I'm watching Tampa like today, and I'm like, Jesus, but it feels like I just watched the whole high school graduating class leave, and you have all the freshmen coming in, all these new people. I'm like, I don't know any of these people. I
Yeah.
think I think Luis Escudero is now like the oldest guy there. He's been there for what, one season.
Yeah,
Hans Montero was like
he was having a good season.
he
Now he's like
was
the 9-hole hitter.
yeah. I mean, Hans Montero was the last of the Mohicans, and he moved on today.
Yep.
But
I
yeah,
mean, since Marcus doesn't seem like he has another guy, I just wanted to mention real quick. Anthony Potestio is another guy that
Mhm.
has had a very good first impression for me.
Yeah.
He hit 444, 1393, hit a home run, four RBIs during his first week of work.
Yeah, he's another guy who he's very him and Castellanos are very similar where they are, they're not going to swing at anything outside the zone. They don't have much pop though. That home run by Potestio was pretty nice going opposite field like that. I feel like for sustainable power, he's going to need to pull it in the air more, which he also has not pulled a ball in the air yet. But it's yeah, he makes a ton of contact and he does not chase, and that's a pretty good floor. Let's see what they can find power wise to increase their ceilings.
And the last guy that I had written down that I liked, I mean, the numbers aren't there yet, but I did like the 19th round pick, Blake Sear, what he's done so far. 833 OPS. He's got more walks than strikeouts. Love to see that.
he
Mhm.
strikes me as a guy who like the Martin Grudzielanek type, where he's a solid
Mhm.
pro. I think a late round draft pick, but a guy who probably was higher profile than a 19th rounder, and probably will establish himself, I think, in the early going, if not early next year.
He's a guy who, was projected to be a first round pick after his freshman year of college.
Yeah.
Miami, obviously things went sideways for him. But there is some pedigree there.
I'm going to move back up to the players of the week at Hudson Valley. Micah New, who we just mentioned, hit 417, 1888 OPS, two extra base hits, a home run, seven RBIs, two walks. David McCann, who to me is probably my favorite catcher in the system right now. He hit 368, 1242 OPS, three home runs, nine RBIs. He was my player of the week. You had Eric Genther, who hit 389, 1227 OPS, three extra base hits, a home run, five RBIs, six walks. Core Jackson, who was recently promoted to Double A, hit 368, 1152 OPS, three extra base hits, six walks, three steals. Willie Montero hit 333 with a 718 OPS. And Jackson Lovich hit 318 with 622 OPS, six RBIs, six steals.
It's another remade lineup there.
Hmm.
Shout out to Wilson Rodriguez. Really bummed that he's down for the count this year. Breakout year, as far as I'm concerned. Probably not alone in that. Hopefully,
Mhm.
this is something that he can come back 100% from next year. But you mentioned David McCann, undrafted free agent, right?
Mhm.
And I think Aaron, you're the first one who called him out this year. and and it just keeps getting better there. I mean, I think that guy can swing the bat.
Mhm.
Um, and he has. Now, I don't know what he is as a catcher. Hard to evaluate from the little bit I've seen him. Because the other guy I think we're going to talk about here is Genther. And I know, Aaron,
Mm,
he's in your top 30, and
yes.
that's a guy who's
Genther, Chris Cooper. These guys are
he's
driving the bus.
he's he got called out before the season even started, and I think right now he's at the plate the best he's been all year. But
Yeah.
I saw and no offense to Genther, who I know is learning the catching position again. I know he caught a long time ago. I saw a crazy stat today. I don't know if you saw it. The number of stolen bases against him this year, it's over
Um,
150.
no. Oh my God.
I said
How
that
what is
can't
that?
be right. Now,
What is
obviously,
that relevant?
you steal on pitchers, you steal on defenses. It's not all in the
And
catcher.
also, guys steal a lot more bases in the minors, especially the
Yeah,
lower
so
levels.
that's not to, I don't want to dump on him, but that was an outrageous number. I thought it had to be wrong. It was something like it's like 150 some stolen bases out of 160 some attempts.
By the way, McCann
Listen,
homered
what I
again
will
today.
say is I was really happy to see that right after I posted my top 30 article having him 30, BA Baseball America updated their top 30 and had him 27. It's always good to see, you're kind of in line with, not that I always agree with their stuff, but I do find them
Mhm.
the best at evaluating. Um, but they in their blurb they did mention, that he's shown good chops behind the plate. So maybe it is just, some of it could be obviously pitcher related. Some of it maybe it's just getting to know the position better. But I'm not uh, worried about it right now.
Yeah.
But I just love his profile. He makes contact with everything. Not everything, but a lot. He doesn't chase, and he's shown improved pop, which was the thing I wanted to see. And since late May, as a 140 WRC plus.
Yeah.
It's yeah, and he's kept the same K and walk percentage as he did before that time, but now he's hitting for power.
And I think it's another UDFA, right?
Yep, another
Yeah.
Rhode Island. Yep, another. I guess does Rhode Island count as the New England area?
Sure.
Because I mean, obviously Schlittler and Rice, and now we can add maybe add Ginther to that.
Yeah. I think so. I mean,
Did you guys
that's a legit prospect.
Oh
did you see
yeah, for sure.
did you see McCann
Huh?
homered again today?
Yes, he is. Listen, I always like to swing at Tech. He's not like I think he's like 5'11", or he doesn't like look the biggest, but he gets the job done.
It's not all
On
turn
I'm
and
on on
I'm
burn.
that note,
He hits the ball out to all parts of the park.
I was
yeah,
gonna
I
say
really
on
yeah.
I was gonna say that on that note, when I went to see them the last time, I think it was like, I can't remember if it was in Port St. Lucie or in West Palm Beach. I saw him and he was like he was talking. I was talking to Luis Puello and I said, "Who's that?" And I saw him and I was like, "Oh, that's David McCann." And I was like, "He does not look 5'11". He does
Shorter.
not look. Yeah, he looks shorter. I thought it was like a second. I thought it was at first. I thought it was Escudero.
He's
Yeah,
a
listen,
stocky guy, right?
Yeah, he's
he
very
hits
stocky.
the ball
He's
hard.
built like a
Yeah.
fullback.
Yeah.
He has some things he needs to iron out, like this hot streak won't last with some of his underlying, but there's also like this is a guy who is on the upswing and you have to keep
Mhm.
an eye out for. And he really hits the ball hard, and he's, if he can catch, that makes it all the better. Like it's a fun watch right now, which is
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
It's really incredible.
Uh,
I know we keep talking about it, but to keep coming up with these undrafted free agents, it's fantastic. And if
Yeah.
Major League Baseball is successful in killing their draft, as they seem hell-bent on doing, it bodes well for the Yankees to be able to find guys who aren't consensus draft picks.
I mean,
which is
this
fun.
is the thing that, it's hard for the Yankees to be a top 10 farm system when you're not getting able to access the highest pedigree guys, and we're also missing on the IFA where we have been not hitting where how we should be. But this is one of the things that keeps us out of the cellar constantly is we keep just finding these guys who, why the hell are these guys drafted after the 10th round or not even drafted, ending up in top 30, but they're not out of pity because your system's so bad. They're doing it because they're playing. Oh my God, these guys are actually like quite good and interesting. So it's you really got to appreciate about the scouting and player development team. They find the guys, and then the player development guys make them something desirable.
Yeah, they just traded for the National League leader in slugging percentage using two post round 10 draft picks from last year and a minor league free agent.
Yep.
So that's pretty good.
I'm laughing because I mean we've only mentioned what two, three levels, and at the beginning of the season, I remember we were talking about where's the offense going to come from. We're getting plenty of offense at the lower levels.
No question. And that's why the rankings came out for farm systems from BA. You mentioned BA, and I'm a big supporter of BA, and I like their stuff quite a bit. I just don't. The Yankees are ranked 24th out of 30 organizations. I don't
Hmm.
care. I just don't see that being a thing. I understand the Rays are number one. Well, they should be.
Yeah,
They get extra draft picks every year. They constantly trade off their guys for prospect packages. I mean, I don't believe like you look at what it's in the Yankee system right now, especially because they didn't get cleaned out at the deadline. Pretty exciting, I think, what they have as
Listen,
a foundation.
if the Yankees were operating at the fullest capacity that they should be what or close to what the Dodgers are.
Yeah.
The difference is the Dodgers, if you look at a lot of the top guys, they're IFAs, and that's where we have failed. Um, but as far as the draft goes, we've been, probably I would actually want to look at that, but because we've both been equally hampered, but we've made it work and done well there, and that's why even like we've never reached the basement. We've been in that 15 through 25 range, and I would like to see them a spot one or two higher, but I'm not. It made sense. They traded five guys. You know, all of them were top 30 guys for me, if I remember correctly. I guess only four of them were because no, five of them: Cruz, Kent, Lalane, Siebert, and Grable. So yeah, it made sense why they fell a little bit, and they'll fall when Lombard graduates. But
Yep. And
it's
unfortunately, pitcher health and I guess
yeah,
position player health
it
is
hasn't been the best year for the system, and
no.
Nope.
it's definitely improved. Like I remember we were talking earlier in the early part of the summer, we were saying, yeah, maybe like C plus, B minus, something like that. I think it's definitely ticked up in the summer. Things have gotten better, but
Hmm.
yeah, it hasn't been a great year. Some of their top pitching prospects haven't had the years they desired, but they've improved and they found new value.
Yeah. And a lot of the guys are still here, unlike last year when it was
Yeah.
20 some
Oh
guys
my
out the
God,
door.
it's a
Yep.
massacre.
Yeah.
Who are the
All right.
pitchers of the week in Hudson Valley?
At Hudson Valley, the pitching side of things, you had Luis Serna, who pitched five shutout innings, no walks, two strikeouts. Hansel Ricon, who's been pretty good all season long, pitched four and two-thirds inning, one earned run, no walks, three strikeouts. Sean Paul Young pitched 4 innings, three hits allowed, one run, two walks, two strikeouts. Wilmy Sanchez, two and two-thirds inning, one run allowed, two walks, four strikeouts. And Brady Kirtner pitched two shutout innings with three strikeouts.
Brady Kirtner. Go Hokies.
Is he?
Yeah. Yep.
So we
Uh,
got Pico back at Hudson Valley now.
yep. We
Not a
take
great
it.
first outing, but he's back on the mound. That's all we want.
Don't care about it.
Yep.
He's healthy.
Got him
Yeah,
back on the
just need him
mound.
on the mound.
Yep. Yeah, it's that was a long leg injury. I'm not really sure what it was, but I'm guessing it wasn't a tear of anything. Otherwise, I don't think he would have returned. If it
Yeah.
was like a meniscus, or definitely not if it was an ACL. So, happy to see him. Cerna's been having a solid season. You look at his ERA is ERA isn't great. His FIP is like 3.7 something, which at first impression is like that's not great. It's not bad. It's not great. The run environment in Hudson Valley or in South Atlantic League is so high of pitchers with 50 or more innings at the level. He is like 10th in FIP out of I think it's 63. So it's not there's still the hugest sample. 63 isn't small either, and so he's done well, and he has I think he's also like 10th or 11th in K minus walk
Yeah.
ratio. He's had some bumpy starts for sure. Especially later as season gone, he hasn't been as sharp. I do wonder if it's a guy who has thrown 93 innings now after throwing seven last year.
Right.
Um,
Right.
so I do wonder if that plays a part in it, but I like what I've seen from him.
I think that's the
I
story is that he's taking the ball every
yeah,
week.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I think it's the most important part of the thing is that he's on the
mm,
mound.
yeah.
Yep.
Like he dropped out of my top 30, but it's not because I thought he was bad. I think just with some of the additions we got, and some guys just overperforming him. But I'm happy with the way he's pitched. He's been solid for sure.
All right, let's move on to Somerset. You have Manuel Valencia, who is on a hot streak right now. He hit 500, 1,500 OPS, two extra base hits, a home run, two RBIs. You have Roderick Arias, hit 360, 905 OPS, three extra base hits, five RBIs, and walk two steals.
Trying
Josh
not to
Moore.
smile. See him trying not to smile.
I'm looking at Aaron from the corner of my eye. Josh Moylan hit 318 with a 966 OPS, a home run, five RBIs. Kobe Morales hit 263, 812 OPS, two extra bases, four walks, and a strikeout. I'm sorry, and a stolen base.
Can we talk
What a
about Roderick
Kobe.
right now?
Okay,
I
let's
mean,
do
we
it.
can go to Roderick, but let me go real quick. It's my opinion. I think Kobe Morales should already be at Scranton. I think he's been at Somerset long
That's
enough.
what I was gonna say is I don't know
And
why him and
let's,
Avina aren't there.
yeah, and let's slide Roderick over to third base.
I agree with that. I don't know why Avina and Morales aren't up there. I forgot who just it was just Rivas and Murda that, but I'm just, why are you keeping both these guys down there? It just, I want to see them in AAA. I think they
Yeah.
deserve it.
Hmm.
I don't think it's too late for
It
that.
isn't, but I was just kind of, it was weird that they didn't also get the bump. There's been so
Yeah,
much movement recently. I'm trying to think who's in that outfield.
Jan
Obviously,
Keel is out there,
Kale. Is it still like Duke
Duke
Ellis?
Duke
Ellis.
Ellis,
Jason, like
yes,
Jason,
and Jason
so
now.
like, I don't know. I still think you can get at least Davina up there because Morales
Yeah.
plays some first base also, and I forgot who they have
Yeah.
at first base, but
Oh, they have
Ernesto
Rafael. Yeah,
Martinez.
Ernesto Martinez,
Martinez.
Like, you can platoon them. I don't like. Come on.
Yeah.
DH
No,
one of them.
that's what I mean. Like those
Yeah.
guys who have been there, I don't know if they're keeping around because they have a plan for them.
Like
Um,
Avina is the more legitimate prospect. I had him 11 in my 11 or 12. I can't remember now. I think I had 11. Like he was a guy I would prioritize getting up there and play. Like you can play him, Jason and Yankiel.
yeah.
Hmm.
Um, do that. I would like to see Morales up there, but he's not the one that's as pressing for me.
So that's a pretty, I mean, that's a pretty fun team if those guys
No,
go up. It's not an unfun team now, but
no,
those guys
there's
go
not
up and
prospect
then
pedigree there.
yeah. What and plus Luciano's interesting and
Mhm.
Hardman and
Yeah,
Oswaldo
it
and
has interesting. I
Volpe.
mean, even seeing what Volpe and Dominguez do, yeah, it's an
Right.
interesting team. It's just not a prospect laden team.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that sentiment right there. For someone who's looking at prospects, yeah, it's definitely
I mean, it's never a
not.
prospect heavy team to begin with, but like especially
I
now,
mean,
it
it
seems like
usually
it's dried up.
sometimes it is, but it's usually like one or two guys there, right? It was either Spencer Jones
Yeah,
before, and then it was Lombard.
it's
Before
yeah,
them, it was
it's
Jason.
always filled with like half the roster has got quadruple A guys, but yeah, there's still
Yeah.
some. It's just not double A or but yeah,
Yes.
there was points this year. You had Carlos, Elmer,
Hmm.
George, Spencer, all four of them
Hmm.
there. Like that was prime time.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And the pitching staff now, same got some interesting guys there too.
Mm.
Hmm. All right. On the pitching side of things, you had Xavier Rivas pitched to a 3 ERA, 6 innings of work, 2 runs allowed. 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. Jeff Gilbert, he pitched 3 1/3 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. Hayden Murda, who also just recently got the bump, 3 1/3 shutout innings, 4 hits allowed, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Tony Rossi pitched 2 shutout innings, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. And Kevin Steven, who's still working on his way back, pitched 2 shutout innings, no walks, 4 strikeouts.
Is Tony
With
Rossi their
the
best relief prospect?
At
in the
Somerset,
system,
Yeah.
I'd say he's in the top three,
Post
five.
Ben Grable, is he the best reliever prospect?
oh,
Non-start,
in this.
not counting current starters that move to the bullpen.
Wouldn't it be Hayden Murda?
I'm asking. Is
Uh,
that
I think
who
it
it
would be
is for you?
Murda. I think it would be
I
Murda,
would.
but
I
Rossi
don't
think
know.
in the top three, five.
I know he kind of got roughed up in his last time, but I really
Mhm.
like Andrew Landry as a reliever, and also Jose M. Rodriguez. I think there's no like
Yeah.
standout right now. I think it's in a situation where you could, it's dealer's choice.
I might vote for Rossi right now.
I
But that's
respect it.
not
I would
that's
love
not
to see him
like
in
That's
AAA.
fair.
he's not lapping anybody. I'm just saying
No.
maybe by a
Yeah.
nose.
I think that's very much like it's in a position where you could say like this guy, someone could say this guy. You can't argue it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why I'm asking
Yeah,
the question. Like
yeah.
who do you feel like it is?
I would say Landry right now, but I kind of want to, I'm not married to it.
Yeah. Because I mean
Moving
those
over.
other guys we could talk about there are in we haven't gotten to Scranton yet officially, but that bullpen's got some of the guys who might be in that discussion with Hendry and Keene and
But
Murda.
is Henry really there? He's just there because they need a body.
Yeah, I think he might have been a body. I'm not
I
sure
don't
what that
Yeah.
know.
was about.
That's
And because he had never pitched
It's been
above
weird.
Hudson.
His treatment's been weird.
Yeah.
I agree, except that's big stuff when he's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
I like
sure.
Henry. I like Henry.
Yeah.
Me too.
And he's
Let
not
me
like he's older, right?
He's like 26.
Yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say the
Which
same
all
thing.
like who cares about I don't care about
No,
age
I'm
for
just saying that's why
relievers.
it's not like they're jerking him around at that age. Maybe it might be like, all right, let's see him against that age level
Hey,
competition.
you know who I think the best reliever in the system is? Antonio Gomez.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that's right.
How did we not talk about him?
I
Jeez. Because he would go for this week, no?
Now, don't forget, I called him out before the season. I didn't say when he would break out.
I'll have to give you credit for that if it's true. But yeah, I mean, 100 miles an hour. He had one of those with 22 inches of vertical brake. That's insane.
That's gross.
Um, we'll see how it carries over. I think 'cause I think consistency will be big because I know like he had some that were down at 15 IVB. So I think finding a consistent pitch will be good. But it's God, what an outing to start his career as a pitcher. I guess he might have debuted last or before the
He
Tommy
did.
John, but
I
He
did.
did.
I posted several videos of him pitching last season.
Yeah.
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 This is
And
the
for those
renewed
that,
and more experienced version, I
yeah,
guess.
and with a beard now, I believe.
Yeah.
Um, for those that asked, because I've gotten DMs about this, he was originally, I believe he was originally scouted as a pitcher, and the Yankees converted him to a catcher.
Oh,
And yeah,
Well, when he signed, he was a catcher, right? But
yeah,
that was
but
his
he,
calling card, is he had an 80 arm.
right, but he was originally, I believe he was originally a pitcher, and they converted him.
Like, I mean, pre 16 years old, you're saying.
Yeah, yeah,
interesting. Well, I
yeah,
mean, I love to see it. It's going to be a very fun story to follow
I
because
hope you're
yes.
I hope you're right. I
legit
would jump
legit
on that train.
weapons, legit weapons.
Yeah.
It's about the control.
All right, let's wrap it up with Scranton. Yeah, Yankee
We didn't talk
Fernandez hit
about
the.
Roderick.
Yeah, we didn't talk
Who?
about Roderick.
Oh,
You see, this is what happens, and we
God
went too
damn
long
it!
without doing a true episode. So now we
There
have
you
so
go,
much to
T.
catch up on.
Go ahead, Roderick. I was waiting at you. That's why I was looking at you from the corner of my eye. I was waiting for you to jump. And what is he? Is he at 12 games, 12 game hitting streak now?
Yeah.
Because he homered today.
And that home run that he hit was
Was it
scalding.
13th? Oh yeah.
It was like 106, right?
Yeah.
I think it was
Maybe
104.9.
104.9.
Uh,
Okay,
I don't
still very
remember
good.
what it was. Yeah, I think it was 422. I want to say. I think. But yeah, I think it's at a 12 game hitting streak now. And I didn't look I didn't look at the last two games, but prior to that, he had some crazy number over his last 52 games. Do I
I
have
mean,
it here?
I don't know about the double A stats included, but from the end of
Okay,
May
here,
onward and low and high A, it was 150 WRC plus, which is
look at
awesome.
this. So I had him from, this was from, oh, I wrote this down yesterday. Since June 5th, his last 52 games, he's hitting 350 with a 412 on base, 1016 OPS, 28 extra base hits, 10 home runs, 45 RBIs, a walk rate of
11 home runs now.
well now, a walk rate of 9%, a strikeout rate of 26.5, and 157 RC plus, WRC plus.
That's awesome. That's really good.
Yeah. Look, there's cold water to throw at. It's kind of like the Spencer Jones conversation, and that the stuff that you were worried about before, you can still be worried about it.
Yeah.
But now it comes with production.
That's exactly it. And this is, I guess, getting to the article I was writing. I was basically writing an article on the guys that I considered for my top 30, didn't ultimately put in. And with Arias, I love that he's reinvigorated his prospect status, and you can't discount production, but with a guy with his profile, um, it's you need it worries me. We talk about Jazz Chisholm and his up
Your
and
worries that
struggles.
he doesn't have a standout tool.
It's not that. It's if you're not well, it kind of is that because if you're going to be a guy who I talk about Luis Garcia, he swings a lot, he makes contact a lot, so you can kind of deal with it. If you're a guy who swings a lot and doesn't make a lot of contact, you really need to hit for a lot of power. But even Cal Raleigh, he hits for huge power, but last year he swung and missed a lot and he chased a lot. He swung an aggressive bat and he had a great year. Now he's having an awful year. It's just that profile is just so prone to variance, which is why I love this 2 month heater he's been on. I need to see it through the rest of the season, maybe even a little bit into next season.
Let me ask you a
Just because
question.
it is, yeah.
When you've been doing it for this long, 52 games, is that still considered a heater? Or could it now be that maybe he's found something
Well,
different?
I mean, Cal Raleigh just had a 60 home run season and maybe the best catcher season of all time, and now he's not even hitting 200 and has been awful.
I mean, I
Yeah,
remember
I think
Brady.
he is.
I remember Brady Anderson hitting 50 home runs, and then after that, he was a bum.
Yeah, it's just very much. It's not that. You're right. It's more than a heater, but it's just a matter of, do I think that this is repeatable over, the course of a 10-year career?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's where I'm just
I
not
mean,
there.
but for a 10-year career, how many guys can we say that besides Albert Pujols?
All right. Well, all right. Is it sustainable to a point where it helps him become an MLB player
Got it.
and not a
Right.
guy who has more than a cup of coffee?
Do
Got
the
it.
concerns become things that are exposed and then that prevents them from becoming a regular
Yeah.
player? Like if we're seeing a lot of good things out of Spencer Jones right now. The
Hmm.
concerns that were there in the minor leagues, he's mitigating those things now. And there's a real improvement. If Roderick can keep doing that, I mean, in my mind, the question is he a 40 hitter or a 50 hitter? Where does he fit in that range? Does
Hmm.
the swing and miss does become too much? Does the chase become too
Yeah.
much? Does the
Because
leg
like,
kick become preventative?
yeah.
All that, so he's got to be on time, all those things. The
Because like he
concerns
was
are all
running a
still there, but he's making it work right now, and he can run and defensively, he's got that
he's amazing at
shotgun of an
third.
arm.
Yeah, the move to third was awesome for him.
Yep.
It took out some of the range concerns that he had at short and just allowed him to show off that like 60, 70 grade arm.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Like he was running he's running like a 450 BABIP right now, which is extremely high.
You're right.
Um,
You're right.
so yeah, like I said, this guy, he went from a guy who wasn't even in my top 50 to like he's definitely in the top. He's in the top 40 now. And I definitely gave him a due consideration, but it's just it scares me, that profile. I think that's something that's developed with me this year is I'm extra keen to how that type of profile can really have high highs and low lows, and I just need to see more before I really buy into it again. But he's not even 22 yet. He's going to turn
Correct.
22
Yeah.
in like in this upcoming month, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's still like
So, and while you're talking all legitimate stuff, but if you think going back to the beginning of the season, if he had another year this year like he had last year, we're writing him off, right? He's done. He's
yeah,
getting
Yeah, I
released.
think this was definitely a make or break year for him.
Yeah, I mean he's made himself part of the
yep.
conversation.
It was yeah, he's done what Lalana did. He just did it like a month later he started. But like Lalana, I was writing off because I saw this guy come back. I was like, oh, he's throwing 92. It's done. He's just not going to get past the shoulder injuries. And then he becomes a top, 6, 7, 6, 5 prospect in the system and is a part of a big trade for the Yankees at the deadline.
If only
So
he
yeah.
waited 2 more weeks to get his stuff back, then he'd still be in the organization.
Well, does that suffice for the Roderick portion of the video?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Now you guys just upset me with the Lalani.
Okay, my bad.
So, perfect segue on trades. So, Henry Lalani has already debuted for what the hell are their names? The Eugene
Right.
Emeralds, which I
Yeah,
found out looked it up and it's in Oregon. And I was talking to him the other day about it. He's like, "There's nothing here. There's nothing to do here."
Oregon.
University of Oregon's there.
I don't think a 20-year-old kid from DR is doing much out
Not
there.
go, not going to the college bars. Doesn't want
Probably
Nike
to.
not.
headquarters.
Probably not. So he already debuted for them, pitched 4 2/3 inning, gave up one earned run, one walk, five strikeouts. And meanwhile, I looked up our boy Ramos's numbers over the 6 games he's played as a Yankee. Pretty good numbers in my opinion. He's hitting .095 with a 430 OPS, two doubles, strikeout rate of 36%. And I
I'm not
looked up.
worried
Aaron is never worried. Aaron is
because
never
he
worried
hasn't
about these
because he was
guys.
he was he was
I
he
could have
was
sworn.
brought
I
in to
could have.
hit.
I was having this conversation with somebody last year. I was like, Aaron told me the same thing I think about Slater last year. That he's not worried. That he's
All right, well
not
he got
worried.
injured right away. But I mean, my thing with Ramos is that he's best against lefties and he
Right. So
has not faced lefties.
yes. So yeah. So I looked it up. He's supposedly the specialist against lefties. All right, fine. He has 70 at bats against lefties. Right. He's hitting 271, five doubles, two home runs against left-handed pitching. So then I'm like, for shits and giggles, let me look up Jason's number. 79 at bats. He's hitting 279, 313, six doubles, two home runs. So what did we trade for here?
I mean, I think Ramos's underlying is a lot more supportive than Jason's was. Jason's underlying data was not good. I'm sorry to say it,
The,
but
the the difference to me here is that we already know who Ramos is.
yeah,
He is who he is, while Jason is learning a different position. Granted, I'm the biggest Jason supporter defender in the fucking world, probably still, but the defense at times drove me mad because was having this conversation with someone this week saying, "Hey, you know, I don't know what the fuck happened to Jason, his defense in the major league level, because in the minor league level, it was never like this. His issue was always tracking, right? And his speed mitigated the fact that he had lateness or delays in reading and getting that tracking. But at the major league level, for some reason, he's had problems with the glove, which I never saw at the minor league level. So I have no explanation for it at this point.
There's something to, and I'm not advocating for Ramos against or over or instead of Jason. Ramos is just not my kind of player. This is just a personal thing. I don't like
yeah.
one-dimensional
And to me, it's like
players.
this guy doesn't move the needle. Isn't to me? I'm like, isn't this basically like Randall Grichuk?
Well, yeah, I think they acted
I
out
mean,
of
yeah,
desperation.
they should have kept Randall Grichuk is the main thing, but I also don't think this is, I think
And don't
I
forget, you also
do
gave up Caden Kent.
Yeah.
yeah. To be fair, I think there's still more upside with Ramos. Like he's still only 25
So
years
I
old.
thought he was like 28, 29,
And
No, he's
he's made
26.
an
So my bad.
all-star
He
26.
teams.
turns he turns 27 in September. So he's
I
still
think they
like that's
got
not
3.5 years of control on him.
yeah, he's
Bro,
yeah, three
first
and
of
a
all,
half
from after
years.
after the conversation we had last year about Jake Bird, I don't want to hear you guys telling me about control.
No, I'm just saying
No, fair enough.
that
But
ups the
also
price
like
tag for him.
I will also say that also he played in San Francisco, which is a team that is not good at like developing. And the difference between that and Colorado is Colorado is just has its own atmosphere of weirdness because of the altitude and how that
You're
affects
right.
pitches and whatnot. So this
Hmm.
is like it's a different situation where I think there's definitely more for them to figure out with him.
Hmm.
Maybe it doesn't click in this half season, especially versus righties. We'll see. I will say I just looked it up. Jason's ex-Woba versus lefties was 292. Uh, Helios was 377, which is a drastic difference. Let's see what happens when he gets, because the ultimate goal is when Cody's back, he'll be much more in a platoon. So let's wait and see what happens when that happens.
So we traded for a guy who's not even gonna be on the playoff roster.
No, he will be.
He will be. It's just like my problem
How many
is
at
his
bats is he
best
gonna
role
get?
is
I
probably
don't know.
DH against left-handed
Yeah,
pitching.
my issue is yeah, like it's this is if they just kept on Grichuk a little longer, that would have been the easiest. They just had to get a guy because they lost the guy that fit the role they
You know
needed.
what? They would
But
have kept Grichuk if Grichuk was making like $25 million. Then they would have kept him.
I no, I mean that's a different thing. But we don't have, I mean I don't know. But with Ramos, I think it's yeah, they definitely paid a bit of price for it. We'll see how he does. I think there's at least more to tap into
Again,
there.
that's just my
We'll
opinion. I think the price is way
it's
too high for that.
reasonable.
I think the price
I
is
mean,
way too high for that. For
what
what you
I will
get.
say is I think with Lalane, because we kind of talked about this, is a guy who, looked like dead in the water, and he really got his prospect status up. I don't know how much higher he was going to be able to get it if you could count on it, but and would another injury come? So I do understand why they sold at the time they sold. I think you really can't, if you're looking at it from an objective perspective, it makes sense. This is a guy, this stock was in the ground. It got himself up to a really nice position. Yes, it could have been higher, but are you trusting that the injuries wouldn't come back or that he would continue to adapt to the higher levels? I do think they sold off at a good time considering where he was.
Do you think he
I,
would have
I
been
hear you.
40 man
I hear you.
protected in the offseason?
I don't think so.
And what if he would have got to
Uh,
Somerset?
Probably, I mean, a lot of teams don't take
Because
guys that are like any.
if I remember correctly, and I know this was a while ago, but they were in the same situation with Jonathan Loaizaga when they got him from, I think it was from San Francisco. I think he was only in late in April, and they protected him. if I'm
Yeah,
mistaken.
no,
You
I see
guys,
what I know what you're talking about. You're right about
but
that.
again, my opinion, my thinking was that I felt that Lalani could have eventually got to double A later on in the season, before the season ended, right? And once he's at double A, he's what, 21, 22 years old. I would have protected him.
But I
My
mean,
thing
I'm
is,
just saying that,
I would have pushed to trade somebody like, let's say, Brendan Beck, as opposed to the 22
but
year old.
but that's not the same value. Like
No,
that's
I get that. I
you're not
get
going to
that.
interest you're not going to
No, I get,
interest teams in Brendan
obviously,
Beck though.
obviously the package is going to have to be different. But my thinking is that I feel like there's more upside here.
I just my thing is I don't know who you're getting. I don't think you're getting anyone of use for Brendan Beck. At least,
And I don't think anybody's losing sleep if they didn't get Ramos.
yeah,
I
I get
think it would
that.
feel better if Lalane went in a package for a different player. But I'm trying to think about who moved at the deadline, who the Yankees, who,
I saw Chris Cooper mention
who
a
am I
bunch of
not thinking
names.
about?
Like if they put
Cooper,
Lalana into Louis, if they had put like if they had put him in the Luis Garcia trade package and like took out like let's just say like I don't know
Seaver.
Siebert and Cruz, like if it was Grable, Lalane, and Jake Bird, I wouldn't have had a problem with that.
I agree with you.
But yeah, I get how the yeah maybe the return isn't the most, but I'm just talking about purely capitalizing on the moment they had with him. I think it was a very reasonable moment to strike if you're thinking about it with that objective perspective.
But yeah, I get because I felt that my knee-jerk reaction was to that I'm not a big fan of Ramos as a player because
Yeah,
he's so one-dimensional. So I didn't think it would be. And I thought it was going to be Lalane for him straight up. And then I saw it was Caden Kent too. And I like Caden Kent. I agree that his ceiling is probably not an all-star or even a first division regular, maybe. Who knows? But I just felt like for that player, I don't know. That one seemed a
I
little
think
too
again,
weird.
that's a reasonable
again,
expectation.
in my opinion, I'm the GM, and San Francisco's asking me for my number 5 and number 14 prospect. I'm hanging up the phone.
I just think something to remember though is like the righty hitting outfield market was awful.
Yeah,
Yeah, if I wish they could have gone in on Lane Thomas, but also Lane Thomas, I think they that was like Atlanta's number 8 prospect
yeah,
in
you're
that.
right.
Like
But
it
wait, but
wasn't he wasn't cheap
is
either. Yeah. And that
is
was a U and he was a pending UFA. So um
Curtis Mead goes for a guy who started a playoff game last year for the
yeah,
Red Sox. And the price
it
tags were
was a
hot.
weird trade market because some trades were like, oh, that's like a not that that's a kind of cheap return, and then some were like, oh, that's like a big overpay. But I think that specific market, the right-handed hitter, hitting outfielder was just it was not there.
And
Um,
and
so I do like Ramos in the perspective of I think there's more they could tap into. I don't like him in the sense of that's it's definitely not a guy who I think is although he helps in the moment, it's not a guy who, is, I'm not sure we're gonna get the best out of him this year, but we'll see. I think we were talking about it before we started, but I see in the playoffs, I see Judges and Wright, versus lefties, versus righties, Grisham will play center, Cody will be in left, and then versus lefties, I think Cody slides over to center and Ramos plays left. That's how I kind of
so
see it going right now.
so you're telling me you don't think Giancarlo's coming back this year?
I mean, he's not playing outfield.
I'll
Like
take the
he,
Joel Sherman approach. I'll believe it when I see it.
I mean, if I think the
You
first
said
guy I would
right-handed
go,
bat, so I immediately thought of Stanton.
I mean, he'll be the DH.
They're
Yeah,
gonna if all those guys come back, I don't know what that
it's going to
roster
be a
looks
weird fit, but I mean, Garcia will probably play first. Rice, maybe the Garcia goes to third and Rice plays first. I'm really not sure what it's going to look like.
like. Yeah.
I just, heck, if Ramos is a bench bat, at least I think that's a pretty good bench bat to have. I'd prefer that over what Amed
Garcia, you said?
Rosario has delivered. No, Ramos.
Oh, okay, Rollins.
And to that
Yeah,
point,
maybe it's a big price for a bench bat, but I like that bench bat over some of the other options we've had on the bench.
and the last couple of years, they've had some really important at bats come down to guys you don't want in the game,
Yeah.
right-handed bats. So that's a better option. I agree with you.
So
Mm-mm.
I think I definitely agree. A big price to pay for that type of player, but I also I think we have different views of the player, but I at least think there's something to gain there. But the Luis Garcia trade I thought was awesome, although losing Grable really hurt my soul.
Yeah, I was gonna say that that
Just
that to me was the biggest hurt right there was losing Rabel.
Yeah.
he's just a tremendous pitcher. He's kept it going in Washington. Um, we'll see. Well, we'll see if how soon he makes the big leagues. I don't really think he was a threat to help the team this year, but there's a lot to like.
Hmm.
It's like someone said it, trading their 11th and 15th rounders, and a guy they picked up in minor league free agency for Luis Garcia is really great business by the team. But it's just that's a guy who everyone could like. It was just obvious how good he was.
Is Clayton Beater still in the bullpen for the Nats?
Yeah, he's
Do
had
they
a
have
bit of
another
a.
former Yankee in their bullpen besides the
I
guys
mean
they
that
just traded for?
I not that I they had Nat Crook for a little bit, but he's
That's who it
gone.
was. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because I saw him make his debut when he gave that home run to Jazz Chisholm.
Yeah.
I was there, but yeah, no, he's gone.
Because I was thinking, like, there's a non-zero chance that all four of those guys from that Garcia trade are in the bullpen. I mean, I think Seabird obviously is a starter, but there's a non-zero chance he's a reliever at some point. Imagine having
Yeah,
five, like your entire bullpen is almost made up of former Yankees. It'd be like the Red Sox team.
listen, they
Didn't
were
the
a match made in
didn't
heaven.
didn't they, whatever the hell their name is now, the A's have like four former prospects, Yankee prospects in their rotation like a year ago?
Oh, the Padres they had
King, Sears,
Brito.
Brito, Vasquez.
Vasquez.
Brito was hurt. Brito's been hurt, I believe. But yeah, Vasquez is in the rotation
Yeah,
right
they had
now.
three.
Yeah, but I remember
Good for Randy
Oakland.
Vasquez for sticking around.
Yeah.
I liked him.
What the hell's their name in Vegas? Is that what they are? The Athletics.
Or they will be.
Just athletics right now.
They had for a minute there. They had Waldichuk, Luis
Yeah, he's
Medina.
he's he's been gone a little bit.
Yeah, no, I
Acevedo
know he
was
was hurt.
there.
Yes,
I
Uh,
mean, this is what happens when you trade so many guys. They wind up on
Mitch
different teams,
Spence.
and I mean, he's in Kansas City if I remember
Yeah, he
correctly.
did he go for the A's and then Kansas City or no?
Yeah, because the A's took him in the Rule 5,
Rule
and he did
five.
like really good his first year, and then he's kind of just been a garbage time pitcher since. But hey, he's been in the
Yeah,
big leagues for a couple years, so for a guy like that, that's a good outcome.
right.
so we're gonna close it out. First impressions for George Lombard, who to me has had a really good first, debut week. Hit 286, 946 OPS, two home runs, two RBIs, walk rate of a little over 12%, strikeout rate 25%, 166 WRC plus, and the defense, future Platinum Glove winner, in my opinion.
Listen,
And
I think it's just so funny, not that I truly don't think Volpe was that bad. I thought he was solid and good at the position. But it's just amazing on the first week, Lombard has had the chance to make so many highlight reel plays, and it's just, delivered
And
in
he made
every
him.
situation. No, I've never hated Lombard. But please don't even joke with me about that.
No,
He
no, I
actually
said he
did
made him. I
make.
said he made him. I said he made
Oh,
him.
I thought
yeah,
you
he
said you
made
hate him.
No,
Oh
no, no, I
yeah.
said he made him.
Oh yeah. No, he did make them, and it's just. We've obviously been on here over the last few months talking caution with him when he did make his
Hmm.
debut. And I think what we've seen is what we've talked about. We knew that he was going to have a high floor because he was going to play great defense and he was going to have good at bats, and he's done both of them. But he's definitely had more impact with the bat than I was
Hmm.
anticipating off the jump,
Yes.
and that he has had ever in any of his um, jumps to a different level. So I'm glad I'm glad he's just taken ownership of the position. It's been a treat to watch. It's so slow with him. Everything is so slow. It looks like everyone's moving in slow motion while he's just feeling the ball, and it's special.
It's refreshing.
Yeah, and I remember early in the season when we were talking about this, Aaron just mentioned it on here, and when it came up like, oh, he might debut this year, and I was thinking, get out of here. And thinking, so I think I said something terrible has happened if he's
Hmm.
in the big leagues this year. And I was saying this to someone yesterday. Maybe something terrible has happened. Their offense went in the tank, and their shortstop position got screwier than we even thought it was going to. And he's brought if he just plays defense, he's brought stability to it. Yeah, they're going to want him to hit because they're not scoring runs, except for tonight, the sign of the
Yeah,
apocalypse. Um,
but he had two hits tonight, I think.
yeah, And look, I think the things that he struggled with in the minors, the high fastballs that he had trouble with, they're gonna find a way to expose it. It happens to everybody. But I think he's showing you that he's got that special uh, pro mentality that separates, I think, the guys who are really good from the guys who don't last. And for him to come up and look comfortable right away and look the part is a big deal. And I think his teammates see that. So credit to him and fun for the fans. Um, I don't believe in the conspiracy theories that they called him up just because they had a crappy trade deadline. Although the
It was
as
the
Mike,
plan to call him up. I think he would have been up sooner if he didn't get hurt.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So I don't believe that that was a distraction. I think that they intended to bring guys him in with him at the same time, and that this is their new team as they wait for guys to come back. So um, it's just I don't know. I'm not a Volpe detractor. I root for the kid. I feel bad, but I'm happy George Lombard's playing shortstop for the Yankees right now, and I hope
Yeah.
he's there for another
It's
10.
nothing, it's nothing against Volpe, but
Yeah,
it didn't work out. It happens to a lot of guys.
yeah,
It's not unsurprising, even if it is a little disappointing. But he looks like the real deal.
Hmm.
And he
and I
just got
hope
the
he
final
is.
out of the game.
I hope he is.
Yep. There's two. This has been a long one. I'm sorry, but there's two guys I think we have to talk about before we to close it out. But we can touch on
Yeah.
like
Wait,
it's
before we do that though, I just want to stay on Lombard. So come spring training next year, what number is Lombard wearing?
Yeah.
12
God damn it! Why you take my number?
because I'm like that. You know what's funny? I remember someone in like April tweeted it was like DJ LeMahieu jerseys are going for $40, like the ones without the names, like
Oh my God.
buy it while you can. And I did. And I bought it just in case of Lombard. Turns out it's a Luis Garcia jersey now, but I'm cool with that.
Vargas, what number?
Oh man. I'm gonna say he sticks with what he's got now.
Number three? You gonna say number three?
90,
What's he wearing? 96 now?
Yeah,
yeah,
96.
I
96.
think he's wearing 96.
Yeah,
What
it's
if he wears?
He
96.
does the Aaron Judge thing and just says, "This is my number."
What if he says he wants number 11?
I thought about that.
No, please keep him away from it. Let's get a we need to get a like we need to get someone to cleanse that.
Yeah,
Dude,
my
that
my
that seems
worry
a
is
little
my
too
worry.
disrespectful.
No, my worry is if he doesn't take it, the Yankees will retire.
Do you think Volpe's out of the organization in 2027?
I think they'll make it. I think they'll trade him somewhere. I don't
Yeah,
know how much in return, but I think they'll try and get him somewhere to get a fresh start. I'm sure someone will want, especially flyer on it.
for
Will
his
take
own
that
sake.
shot.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think he needs the fresh start.
yeah.
All right, so what were your last two things? Or your last two guys
Justin
you want to talk about?
Peña and
Oh yes.
Justin
Oh my God, yes.
Peña
Skipped over that section. And Robertson Depena. How the hell did I
and
skip over
Wilberson
that?
Peña. Yeah. We forgot about them.
I did,
And
because
that's
you made
probably
me
my
jump
bad
around.
because yeah, I got too excited about the draft because I knew we were gonna close with those guys.
I mean, so yeah, Wilberson Depena, record-setting numbers at at the FCL. He had 358, 1088 OPS, 16 home runs, 36. I'm sorry, yeah, 38 extra base hits, 67 RBIs, strikeout rate just south of 20% at 19.5, 19.8. Sorry. And then you have Justin Peña at the DSL who hit 375 with 1103 OPS, 22 extra base hits, 8 RBIs, 57. I'm sorry, 8 home runs, 57 RBIs, a walk rate and a strikeout rate of 13.7% even, 1-to-1. And I'm gonna say that when I got the message that he was going to write to Tampa, I was shocked. I was like, that can't be. That has to be a mistake.
Well, you posted he was going to FCL first.
Yeah, I did, right? Because because I was told he's getting promoted. The Yankees don't promote straight from D, and then it was like, and then I hit up by him. He's like, "Oh, I'm going to Tampa," and I was like, "Oh,
Yeah. And look, we said before the season it would be the teenage section of their minor league system was in want of some players to be excited about.
in need, desperate
Yeah,
need."
I'll agree with you. And now I feel like we have that. those
Hmm.
two guys, Dax Kilby, some of the guys we talked about with the DSL, it feels like that lower part of the farm system, you've got guys to get excited about.
And it's just amazing because it came from two of the guys you really would not like, thought about it coming from. I feel like you were probably targeting Matique, Steven Martinez, Manny Cedeno,
Hmm.
maybe having a comeback, maybe with Valorio or Maia
Yeah.
finally piecing it together. And it's been a guy who was an afterthought in an Oswald Peraza trade and a guy who wasn't in the system because he had was like falsified documents with the
Yeah, it was
Cardinals, so he
an
came
age
to
issue.
us
Mhm.
and going from FCL, going from DSL to Tampa, that says a lot. I say this, I've said this so many times on the show. You got to react to what the organization will tell you what they think. They told us they think super highly on him. That's why he went from not even in my top 30 to number 8, I believe it was,
Hmm.
where I wound maybe 7. No, it was 8. They truly think highly of him, and I think hopefully that ankle or injury or whatever isn't too serious. But he's performed very, very well. Hitting the piss out of the ball, making a decent amount of contact. I mean, he's performed better than Wilburson,
Hmm.
and this is the guy who's a year younger. It's awesome.
Yeah, BA put a 70 on his power. I mean, this is a kid who I don't, it doesn't look like he's a blazer to running, but if he can play center field,
I think he
ooh,
has like he has he I think he's got 30 stolen bases or close to 30 stolen bases, by the way.
he doesn't look to me like someone who,
He
I'm not
does.
saying
I
he
mean,
can't run.
he
I'm just saying if
does.
he can
No,
play
no,
center field, this is
he
a
absolutely
really
does.
exciting
I
player.
think he has 3 infield hits, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, those two, and I think that's another example like we talked about with the UDFAs. The Yankees ask for this for DePena in a trade with Peraza. Just like, was it Sanchez, Brian Sanchez? Was that his name they got from the Brewers when they traded Jake Bowers? Or is that
Brian
the
Sanchez.
wrong deal? That's his name,
Brian
right?
Sanchez.
They
Yeah,
Brian
traded him
Sanchez.
last year in the Bednar deal.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He
Okay.
was.
He's the guy who came on, and then that's why when they pick up, is it Luis Cruz
Garcia, I think. Or Cruz, yeah.
Yeah.
that they made in the trade with Pittsburgh?
Hmm.
I get excited about those guys because obviously they've targeted players that they feel good about.
They know something somebody else doesn't.
And that's what I mean. Like these aren't guys that they're just, picking out of a hat, that they saw these guys as
Oh yeah,
amateurs and
just give me
so
this
they're like,
guy. Give me this guy.
so I'm excited about him. And like DePena winning the Triple Crown in the FCL,
Insane.
it's awesome. And so to have these guys finish out the year in Tampa, it's so exciting to have that part of the farm system come alive.
I will say, and I agree. I ranked Wilburson aggressively. I've talked with a lot of the show guys with aggressive swings and low contact. He definitely fits that bill right now. He had a decent contact in FCL. We'll see how it adjusts after a larger sample in Tampa. And, I'm not going to downgrade him for how he does in Tampa this year. And I'm definitely going to wait for next year. But I do think that is a thing to watch with him is how is that contact look? Because he has really good power. It's not like Spencer Jones outlier power, but it's really good power. Um, but he also looks. Both of them look quite comfortable in the field as well in the outfield. And Yostin playing
Mhm.
some center field. He's got like he's so weird. He's 6'4", but has these long legs. He looks big, but he also like looks kind of like fit and skinny. It's
Yeah.
just such a weird look. But he is. I mean, he really is an athlete in every sense of the word.
And that's the man. That's what I was talking about earlier. Those two guys, if they make good swing decisions, and if it's with those two, it's with Maia, I think.
Mhm.
If you can do something about the chase and get better pitches to hit, the talent is there. Imagine that. Those three guys in the outfield someplace at the same time. That's exciting.
But
Well, right
people have
now they
been.
can do that.
I get people. A lot of people were asking me about Houston Pena last week, and I pretty much told them, I'm like, listen, I'm trying to keep my emotions in check here.
Yeah.
But to me, he feels like he could be the one. He's doing everything that I expected Francisco Valorio to do. He's doing it, and he was what a $350,000 signing. It wasn't a $2 million signing,
Yep.
million plus whatever signing, and he's just making it happen.
I wonder if they didn't have some conversations before the deadline where those names came up and it was for a guy who might have been a reliever, like we were talking about, and they said, nope, we're not doing that for him.
I
I
mean, they were
wonder.
getting calls.
Yeah.
They were getting calls on them for sure. You know,
So that's I'm excited about those guys.
it's nice to have a DSL guy who has blown up, and he's not top 100 yet. I don't think he's going to get there right away. But I think I think that's an issue the system had this year. There's no one who took a step to becoming a top 100 guy. I think he is, besides the guys they drafted like Dietz and Duncan when he's healthy, I think he has a chance to do that.
Yeah, I agree.
Hmm. All right. So on that note, if you guys had nothing else, we're gonna head on out. Anything else?
I'm good.
Yeah, I
It's
All
good to
think
get
right.
that's
it all
good.
out.
That was a lot. That was a lot. On the ways out, guys, if you could hit that like button if you haven't already done so, and if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Good night. We'll catch you on the next episode.